Greetings, students. This is Dr. Schafer. Welcome to Happiness and the Meaning of Life. I've created this welcome video or this orientation video to give you a little introduction or overview to the class. I want to do three things here. Tell you a little bit about myself, talk about how to navigate the class on Brightspace, since this is an asynchronous online course. And then thirdly, some tips for you to succeed in this class. What does it take to do well in this class? Okay, introductions first. This is take number 3 of this video. I was interrupted by my wife the last time. So let me mention at the top that I am happily married. My wife is in the kitchen. If you hear some odd noises, that's her doing some blending. I'm not sure what she's doing in there right now. We have 2 kids. They are twins. They just turned 9 years old. They were born on the last day of the semester in 2016, which was a glorious day for me. Obviously, I missed that day of class. I've been at Xavier for a while now. I think I just finished my 26th year. I started in the fall of '99. I came down from Chicago straight out of graduate school. This was basically my first teaching gig, and I fell in love with Xavier, the culture of Xavier, the students at Xavier, the city of New Orleans, and have found no reason to leave since then. There is one other member of the family I should mention. So I mentioned my wife, my twins, boy and a girl, and there's also our dog Luna, who is, I'm assuming you could see that on the video. She's almost always right around here. She's a 4-year-old German Shepherd. I think she's asleep right now. I'm coming from my office, my home office, which is going to be my headquarters this semester for the class. So you can see the window behind me, and there's some books in here and other things. Well, look, let me move on to navigating the course on Brightspace. So because this is an online class, it's important that you know how to navigate the class successfully. And what I want to recommend that you do, I know that you can get to Brightspace because you're watching this video. But what I want you to do next, after you finish watching this video, is to go to the Content tab, which is one of the tabs at the top of the screen on the Brightspace page for our class. And when you do that, when you click on the Content tab, you will be taken to the content area for the course. And you'll see that there is a menu on the left-hand side of the page. At the top of that menu is a link called Overview. If you click on the Overview link, you will get basically like a one-page, in a nutshell summary of this course, everything that's involved. So definitely do that, read through that. You know, take the 1 minute that it's going to require to do that. At the very bottom, it will say to learn more about the class, go to the Start Here link, which is also on that left-hand menu on the content page. So if you click on the Start Here tab, you will be taken to a page that gives you detailed information about the class. It's basically the syllabus broken down into parts. It explains everything that you need to know about the class, from the readings to the assignments to the grading to tips for how to succeed in the class, you know, some of which I'm going to say in this video, and other things. The other thing I want to say about navigating the class on Brightspace is that I will organize everything into weekly folders, and you'll see these folders also. You'll see them now on the left-hand side of the content menu. You'll see week 1, week 2. It's a 5-week semester, so 5 folders for one for each week of the course. When you click on one of those weekly folders, at the top you will see a description day by day of everything that you should be doing. Okay, so you could never get lost if you always go to the weekly content page for the course. And then down below that are going to be links to all the assignment assignments and other things, like a link to the discussion board, a link to an instructional handout, a link to a survey, a link to a short writing assignment. Everything that you need is going to be there. Okay, so if you do that, then you will find a certain ease of access to this course, and everything will will open up for you that way. If you have any questions, let me know. Send me an email and let me know. Okay, so how to succeed in this course. There's 4 things that I want to mention if you want to succeed, if you want to get a good grade, if you want to learn the most, if you want to get the most out of this class. Number 1 is how important it is to keep up with deadlines. You've got to be aware of the deadlines and stay on top of all the assignments. And the best way to do that is to, go to the weekly content page and look and make sure that you're aware every day of the stuff that you should be doing. By far, the number 1 reason why students get less than, a C in this class is because they forget about things and they miss the deadlines. And if you miss the deadlines, as far as I'm concerned, that's water under the bridge, and we can't go back and make that stuff up. So you've got to keep up with the work for the course. I want to add here that the first week in particular is really busy. So we've got introductions for the first day. Then we've got the philosophy of life survey and the discussion board that is connected to that. And then we've got our first reading, which is Plato's Apology. There's a discussion board connected to that. And then there's a short writing that comes at the end of the week. So make sure that you stay on top of all the work for the course. Okay, tip number 2 is reading. You've got to do the readings in order to succeed in this class. There's not a lot of pages that you have to read, but you may find that some of the reading is unusual or difficult because it's philosophical. And probably for most of you, this is the first time you've taken a philosophy class, and there may be a period of adjustment because philosophical writing and philosophical work is different from other stuff. It's a little bit more analytical. It's a little bit more abstract because we're dealing with ideas, and ideas are invisible, right? So it takes a little bit of extra work, mental or cognitive or imaginative work, in order to get your feet set in this kind of thing. It's definitely stuff that you can do, right? I'm just suggesting that it might take a little bit of an adjustment for you to get used to some of the readings, and we're going to change things up. If you get a little frustrated with Plato's Apology, which is the reading for week 1, then don't get too frustrated, because week 2 is going to be completely different, and then week 3 is going to be different again. Okay, the third tip is the value of the discussion board. 25% of your overall grade for the class is going to come from discussion board posts. Moreover, I'm not going to grade your discussion board posts. As long as you make the posts and you get them in on time and you follow the rules, which is basically to write a certain number of sentences, right? And those rules will be clarified in the discussion board part of Brightspace. But if you do that, you get points. You get all the points. So there's no reason why you shouldn't get full credit for the discussion board portion of this course. Plus, the discussion board is the main way that you and I can have engagement with each other. It kind of takes the place of the classroom, because I will try to respond to as many of your posts on the discussion board as possible. And that way we can have a little bit of a personal connection during the course of the semester. Okay, lastly, how the grade is determined for this class. So there's 4 grade areas, each one of which counts for 1/4 of the grade, 25%. So I mentioned the discussion board posts. There will be reading quizzes for this class. Your final average on the reading quizzes will count 25% of your grade. There will be short writings that I will ask you to do, probably, maybe 6 or 7 short writings by the end of the semester. Your final average in the short writings will be 25% of the grade. And then finally, a critical essay, which comes at the very end of the semester, which counts for the last 25% of the grade. So that's it for this overview. I'm really excited about this class. I love teaching happiness and the meaning of life. There's so many really interesting ideas to discuss and to get into. I'm looking forward to getting to know you better. And that's going to be it for me. I will see you in cyberspace.